Hello my fellow knowledge seekers. My name is Dennis and today I will show you how to work with invisible or what they call non-printing characters within Microsoft Word 2010 document. Let's start with a little premise here. Let's say your boss comes up to you and he or she says, I want you to take a look at this document and I have a feeling that whoever created it put extra spaces sometimes between specific words. Well, you could one way to how you could go and check for it manually would be like take a ruler or you sit here and see if there are distances between the actual words are about the same. Well, obviously this is not very efficient. Another way to do this would be to show non-printing or invisible characters. And the way you do that is by pressing a Show Hide button, which is located right over here inside of the paragraph section under the Home tab. So whenever we click on it, you'll see a whole bunch of interesting squiggly items appearing on your document. If you have never seen it before, this may be a little bit confusing to you, but let's go ahead and take a look through the most common ones. The first one that you will notice will look like this. It will look like a paragraph mark, which may look a little bit different if it's a different font. The paragraph mark means that they have pressed enter in here to move on to the next line over. Now, whenever they put a space between the words, it will look like a period right over here. Between the actual words, but it is different from a period in a sense that it does not appear at the bottom. It appears actually at the middle in between the actual words. So if someone was to press several spaces in one of the areas, you would immediately be able to notice it because you will see two of those dots in between. Well, in addition to it, my Word actually has recorded that something is wrong. Why did you press two periods in there? But sometimes, depending on the settings of Microsoft Word, it may not show that to you. So that's the actual spaces. Now, if they have pressed a tab, which means that they have added additional space of about ½ an inch by default, you will usually see this arrow displayed in here. Well, in this particular case, they have created a bulleted list, and that's why the arrow has been already placed in there for them. The tabs have been automatically done. But for example, right over here, let me turn it off so you'll see what I mean. If I don't have it turned on, I see there's a whole bunch of empty space here, but I don't know what happened. And what I've seen many times in my practice is that people, for example, they put a lot of spaces here like this to try to indent things, and this is not a very good way of doing it. So instead of that, you could put a tab here and it would look something of this nature. As I said, by default the tab is about ½ an inch in distance. So this is an easier way to display this. Now, there are some of the additional characters here. You might be wondering, what are these two little circles in here? Those are called non-breaking spaces, and those are not used very often, but they're there and every now and then if to specify to Microsoft Word that whatever comes after the word, for example, partner here, or after the colon, which is the word keeps, should stay in the same line. So if it ever reaches the end of the line in here, it will actually transfer both of the words, which is partner and keeps, to the next line, rather than separating and leaving partners here in the first line and keeps would be in the next line over. A little bit brighter example of that would be, let's say, if I wrote January 1st, comma, 2015, and then after that comma, I would put one of those non-breaking spaces so it does not put January 1st on one line and 2015 on another if it has to. There are some other characters that you will see every now and then. For example, if you have a table like we have in here, you will notice this looking icon. So sometimes people call them a little turtle, sometimes people call them currency sign, but what that little sign means is that this is a cell of a table, and it usually denotes the start and the end of the row within a particular table. So once again, if you ever see any one of those, that means there is a table. It could be hidden table, so you would not see the actual grid lines, or it could be the actual visible table like you see in front of yourself. Well, I hope this will help you out a little bit and dissecting the documents in the future, so you will be able to see what actually has happened to it, especially if someone else has done it and sent it to you. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy.